Hi everybody, this is John from Old John's Vlogs. If you like my vlog, please click on the like and subscribe button. It's free. That just tells you when the next video is coming up for you to look at. Well, my family and I have been on holiday for the last few days on the east coast of England, just outside Bridlington, and we were supposed to set off a week last Saturday, and it was 97 F for you people that can still use Fahrenheit, which I still use, and it was too hot for us, so we set off at Sunday morning. And as it happens, it wasn't too bad a drive. By the time we got to the other end, 72 mile away doesn't sound a lot, but it is on English roads. It's a good 2-hour drive. By the time we got to the other end, it was starting to get hot again. So we just lounged about Sunday afternoon in a caravan, and in the evening we were out there, but from time to time we had some heavy downpours of rain. They didn't last long, but we were very lucky and we were able to get out and about every day. We decided to come back early on Friday because the weather people said that we could be driving through very hazardous rain conditions, and we did hit one spot of really difficult driving, where the flash flood had gone on a field and was washing mud off the field, and even the big vehicles had to slow down to about 2 miles an hour to get through it. So it rained on and off, but we were lucky enough to get home before the heat started again. Saturday was not too bad. It was very hot at one point, and when I looked at the house dial, I couldn't believe that we were as cool as we were, because it was 82 in the house, 82 F Fahrenheit in the house, and we were getting used to the heat a bit. One thing that British people never get the chance to get used to heat, because it's the weather in England is, most people know, live here of course, can be 4 seasons in one day. Anyway, enough of that. When I got home, we had to do what everybody else does, you know, they catch up with the food and everything. And so Sunday morning I decided to write out a few notes to make a vlog for you to maybe be interested in. Once again, I'm going to be taking memories from my 1977 diary about the Queen's Jubilee, and a bit more information as well. But one of the things that I took from the diary that I completely forgot about, here in Barnsley we have a Victorian type cover over shops made out of glass, and the name escapes me at the moment, but I think you know what I mean. And it was designed as a walkway to prevent rain getting in on people while they did their shopping. It's a nice feature actually that's been brought back to life. But anyway, in 1977 the shops in this area, one shop in particular, caught fire, and extensive work had to be done on this glass walkway. And as far as the shops were concerned, they tried to get rid of a lot of stuff, and they sold some of the wares and goods I think clothing in particular, at knockdown prices. But I can't tell you how the stock went, if people bought it or not. Anyway, I'll go back to my notes, and we're going to be looking at the 1952 Queen's Jubilee to start off, and then the 1977 Jubilee, and find out if there was any similarities. I know in the 52 one it rained very heavy, and but we did go indoors for that one. Anyway, let's just have a look at my notes. Anyway, in the 1977 notes, it was decided by the ladies in the cul-de-sac that we lived in to try and get a street party ready for the children, and it was decided that everybody paid 50p per week until they had enough money to buy food and presents for the children in the cul-de-sac. And they also did other things. One of the things was they made their own bunting, you know, the triangular flags, and we finished up with more bunting than anywhere else in Royston, and it looked wonderful actually. They'd done a wonderful job. Not many people left, I'm afraid, to remember that now. Now, one of the people who lived in the avenue was a butcher, and he was able to get ham and meat for us at knockdown prices. I think I had a car to take him to his place of work to fetch it back. Another man had a shop, a builder had a shop in the bottom of our avenue, and he let us use his shop just for the occasion, just for in case it rained. Let's be seeing. Another man who had a fish and chip shop at that time provided us with knockdown price drinks for the children, non-alcoholic drinks, of course. The men of the street provided their own alcohol, and that's the difference between the Queen's coronation in the 50s and the Queen's coronation in the 70s, was that in the 50s the men went to the public house and bought their beer in the pubs, which there were lots of, and in the 70s men went out and bought cans of beer and drank it there. Anyway, that's the comparison so far. I hope there's some more, and I hope you find it interesting. I contacted the council, the local council, and asked if I could block off the cul-de-sac, and they agreed that I could block it off for the duration of the party, and then I had to clear it all, which I did. We only had a couple of problems with people wanting to come up the street. When they realised what was going off, they parked their vehicles at the bottom of the cul-de-sac, and we didn't have any problems after that. The ladies of the street created street raffles, and lots of prizes were given by the people who lived in the street, or cul-de-sac, I should say, and all that money generated went towards money for the children, so that they could have presents. I'm not right sure what they got now. I don't know if they got a cup and saucer, as we did actually back in the 50s, or if they got a choice of a cup and saucer, a spoon with the commemorations on it. But everybody got something. Nobody was left out. Anyway, back to the other notes. The 77 party went very well. Everybody enjoyed it. We took lots of photos. Some I've still got, I believe, somewhere. If you want to see them, please let me know, and I'll rummage through hundreds of photos to see if I can find some. Now, in the 1953 in the 1953 coronation, the Queen's coronation, Mum dressed up in like a pearly queen. Actually, the people went over the top with what they dressed up in those days. I don't think she hired it. I think she borrowed it actually, but probably not. Mum, she didn't want to let anybody down. She may have hired it, but she had big Union Jack underneath the dress, which was excuse me, which was a larger than life thing, and everybody had fun with looking at it when she lifted up her pants, which were down to her ankles, so nobody saw her legs at all. No rudeness, no lewdness back in those days. The food was different. They had pean pies, and the children had sandwiches, and I think they had jelly on as well. There were no gate crashes, and there were gate crashes in 77. What else? I apologise, I'm having to look down at my notes. I'm forgetting what I've written. We well prepared, just for in case it was going to rain, and it did actually. It threw it down with the rain. We were allocated. We could go into a large brick garage. So it was a bit dirty, so we cleaned it all down. Everybody got involved, and we whitewashed it, 2 or 3 coats, I believe, so that it was really prim and proper and wonderfully clean before we were allowed in there by our parents. Hygiene was very high, in those days, much more perhaps than today, because there was no preventative medicines around to cure lots of the illnesses, so they took precautions by hygienic precautions as more than probably today. That's a guesstimate actually. Some people might say that's wrong. Some people would say more precautions are taken today than back then. There were things done that shouldn't have been done in my view, but I'll go into those at a later time. So yeah, while the children later after the meal, the games were played, and while the games were being played, many of the men just quietly left and went down to the local pub, which was called the Spotted Leopard, and it was actually only 2 minutes walk from the garage that we were in to the pub itself, which was on the main road. And at one time I used to sit at the bottom of this main road and count the cars that went past, which were very few, and write down their number plates. And also the tram lines had just been covered up at that time.